My club are complete and utter lunatics. I'm going to be discussing this issue, Thomas Tuchel leaving Chelsea, live on my Twitch channel at midday. So make sure that you come along for that. But I cannot believe the news. Look, of course, I think this is the correct decision. I am happy that this has happened. I thank Thomas Tuchel for everything that he has achieved with Chelsea. But this is the right move. But my club are wild, aren't they? I think every football fan genuinely believes that their club are insane. But my club actually are mad. This doesn't matter if you go back a year, back a decade. Chelsea are total and utter lunatics. Think about what we've just done. Chelsea have sacked the manager when we have backed him to the tune of practically 300 million quid. I mean, a mere few days ago, Chelsea signed Aubameyang for Thomas Tuchel. Chelsea signed Aubameyang because of the pre-existing relationship with Thomas Tuchel. Those two played one game together. Where's the overarching strategy? What are they thinking? A couple of days ago, a week ago, Chelsea allowed one of the most brilliant, promising young footballers in the world, Billy Gilmour, to leave the club for a pittance because Thomas Tuchel didn't fancy him. They didn't foresee that they might not be with Thomas Tuchel and a new manager would love him, particularly when you think that the new manager who could come in could be Graham Potter. Please. Graham Potter just signed Billy Gilmour. What is going on? What on earth are they thinking? How do you let Gilmour go when you may not have that manager? How do you sign Aubameyang when the manager who wants him may not be the manager? It is total and utter lunacy. We have backed Thomas Tuchel to the tune of 300 million quid and then we sack him. That is insane. Total and utter lunacy. It's nuts. My mind is genuinely blown. It is such a mental way to go about business, but Thomas Tuchel is gone, and that is the correct decision. We can be sentimental about it if you want. We can certainly be grateful to Thomas Tuchel. We must acknowledge what he has done. He has taken the club to the promised land that is the European Cup. There are only 2 European Cups in London. One of them is thanks to the contribution of Thomas Tuchel. So we will forever say thank you to Tuchel, but it had gone so stale. It was so bad. It was dour football, and the life and heartbeat had gone from the club. It was a shell, and it was so obvious to see. And I think people were so blindly tribal and blindly loyal to Thomas Tuchel that they didn't necessarily see it. Chelsea won 7 out of the last 22 games. So people want to say that it's early. People talk about it being this season. That isn't the case. This is something that goes back practically a year. Think about the season that we had last year. People will tell you that, we did well and we got to finals or whatever. We won 8 games at home. Everton, who were a Rizzler paper from relegation, won more home games than us. Last season, create the facade, talk about cup finals, talk about the Club World Cup, talk about whatever you want. But last season was diabolical. We were truly dreadful. And I think people underestimate quite how poor we have been and quite how poor we have been for so long. Throw into it now the standard of football. Like, genuinely, I have found this Premier League season intense, bewilderingly brilliant, captivating. It has been a brilliant season. Every game of football that you watch, and I appreciate that there is perhaps a bigger conversation as to why. The money that the Premier League has is vulgar, and the way that Premier League clubs launch themselves into Europe, spraying their money everywhere, it's grim. And I know that it's grim, and I know that there is a different conversation there, but just bear with me on this. Subtract all of that from this equation. The Premier League product has been amazing this year. Every game of football I've watched, it has been just mind-blowingly good. It has been really engaging, high-level, entertaining football. And that is applicable to virtually every game you have watched this season, unless that fixture happens to contain the team Chelsea, in which case it will be a dire, turgid, boring, stale affair. The standard of football that Chelsea are producing is shockingly bad. Chelsea as a team cannot defend. We cannot attack. We have no midfield. We concede goal after goal after goal. We cannot defend set pieces. It makes you wonder what's going on the training ground. And ultimately that is Thomas Tuchel's responsibility. Thomas Tuchel, whether this is right or wrong, this is the facts. Thomas Tuchel is the highest man at the club, football-wise. There is nobody above him football-wise. And therefore, he needs to start taking some responsibility. It all falls on him. And I don't think he wanted that additional responsibility, but he got it, he accepted it, and he has actually made a pig's ear of it all. The way that he has conducted himself, I would actually go so far as to say that he is the architect of his own downfall. Playing players out of position, selecting the wrong team, creating a strategy that is so devoid of any ingenuity, any aggression, any spirit, any tenacity, any flair. There's none of it. There's just none of it. Our tactic looks like it's pass, possession, hope for the best, pass, possession, give the ball away. That's how it feels. And you can clearly see that a lot of players are struggling in this system. You can see that a lot of players are playing in quite a bad way. Like, whatever you think of Hakim Ziyech, he's better than he was last night. Whatever you think of Mason Mount, he's better than he was last night. And therefore, it has to come down to Thomas Tuchel. His responsibility is to get the best out of the players, particularly when you think they're the players that he has signed, a lot of them. Nobody is performing as they should be. I would say only Reece James, a youth product, is putting in even a semblance of a performance that is in keeping with the standards that badge represents. So this is the right move. Where Chelsea go from here, I don't know. But I would like to say thank you to Thomas Tuchel, but it was right. Look at the conduct. Look at the team that we had. Look at the players' performances. Romelu Lukaku, gone. Thomas Tuchel's responsibility, whatever you think of that situation, was to get the best out of Romelu Lukaku. Tammy Abraham, gone. A terrible decision, one that has been proven to be totally and utterly incorrect. So there are many reasons to suggest that this is the right move. And now I think as a club, we have to look forward. I'm optimistic, I'm happy with this decision, and I truly believe that it is the right one. Now we have to get it right. And for me, there are 3 contenders with one standout character. The 3 are Zinedine Zidane, Mauricio Pochettino, and Graham Potter. In terms of where we go, I think Graham Potter is the front runner here. Graham Potter, for me, would be the standout candidate. I think he has done an amazing job at Brighton. The way that they look after the ball is incredible. If you think about who they are, they've lost their 2 best players from last season, and yet they still maintain such high standards. Such an impressive manager who definitely deserves a chance. He's proven, whether it's at Ostersund's or whether it's at Brighton, that he is capable of managing at the very highest level. So, Zidane, there's a glamour attached, isn't there? Of course, I would love the idea of Zidane at Chelsea, but I'm not convinced. Mauricio Pochettino is a bit too Tottenham for me, and therefore I am wholeheartedly backing and endorsing Graham Potter for the Chelsea job. Fingers crossed that happens. As I say, going to be discussing this live on Twitch at midday. Come along. Be good to see you there. Oh dear.